Raucous. Subscribe to Vincent Valentine EX Turk channel.
Wait, what is up, guys? Your King of the Night, Vincent Valentine EX Turk, and the Final Fantasy Coliseum Death Battle of two Final Fantasy characters, or Square Enix characters, in the ring with two of the same backstories and same powers, face each other off from two different Final Fantasy universes or Square Enix universes. Let's get going. Two would be the toughest. I'd call this, instead of the Iron Tyrants, is actually going to be the Tough Tyrants. Well, we got the Imperial Wizard, Imperial Wizard, and older brother of Cecil Harvey, Golbez, the one who fought the likes of Zemus in the end of the game, brainwashed Kane, and been a tough enemy to Cecil and his group. Pretty much a really high level and also a very powerful villain on Team Chaos / Team Spiritus later on, if he's going to be on Spiritus' team. But he's not really a villain. He did this because he was, kind of controlled and brainwashed. Pretty much, Golbez is a magical wizard version of Darth Vader, pretty much. He was never actually he was never actually evil, and he was actually suffering the crimes he did before. But we're going to be talking about their powers. Both have very strong attributes and stuff like that. But anyways, we're talking about Golbez. Golbez can use any kind of black magic you can think of, and he can use his Onyx Dragon form, which is pretty much, his Onyx Dragon form, pretty much think Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho when he does the Darkness Dragon. That's pretty much Golbez's limit break. Pretty much it can wipe out a lot, so Golbez is like one of the most powerful mage characters in the Final Fantasy series, alongside Kuja and Kefka. And I meant mage base, not just like, characters that can use high level magic, but mage base. And so Golbez is very powerful and a force to be reckoned with, especially when he turns into his Onyx Dragon limit break. Then you're done. You're screwed. Now, next contender is General Gulaca, one of the biggest and physically strongest out of the physical feats, strongest Magitech generals out there before Ravis. This was the guy that was the High Commander before Ravis, for good reasons too, because General Gulaca is ruthless, cold, and pretty much he survives a lot. He survives several stabbings by Nyx's knives, fall damage, explosion damage, you name it in Kingsglaive. General Gulaca, when he's in the armor, he's almost impenetrable. But the reason why that is that armor that General Gulaca wears was made by Verstale and made by parts of the same pieces that made diamond weapons. So you can imagine how powerful General Gulaca's armor. In fact, General Gulaca's armor was actually used. It was actually kind of used for Ravis's arm. Parts of General Gulaca's armor was used for Ravis's arm. That's because how strong that piece of material is. In fact, one of Verstale's greatest creations, besides the diamond weapon and Immortalis and Ravis's arm, and the Magitech machinery, would be Titus Drontis's armor, which is General Gulaca. If spoiler, General Gulaca is Titus Dronicus. But even without the armor, General Gulaca is the leader of the Kingsglaive Guards. Pretty much, he trained Nyx Ulrich, the strongest soldier of the Kingsglaive personal King's Guards. He actually trained them all, even Nyx. So you can imagine how powerful this dude is without the armor. And besides being a spy for 7 years without being detected as General Gulaca. General Gulaca is already strong even without the armor. The armor just triples his powers and make him nearly immortal. The only reason why he was defeated because Nyx was able to make a break for Titus's heart, the man controlling the Magitech known as Gulaca. But otherwise, let's get to the strength and everything. both physical ability, I'd have to say Gulaca would win when it comes to physical ability, because Golbez does not actually focus on physical ability. Even a Golbez would be physically strong because he's in a giant tin armor. You know, Golbez does not actually focus on, you know, strength as much as Gulaca. Gulaca is nothing but strength, you know, and, you know, bulk, because the armor that Gulaca's in. Now, when it comes to magic, Golbez would be the winner, because Gulaca doesn't focus so much on magic. Remember, he only focuses on physical attack and sword combat. So, Gulaca's weakness is his lack of magic usage. So, pretty much Golbez would win when it comes to terms of magic. When it comes to speed, I'd have to say Gulaca would win. Even though Golbez can move very, very fast in his armor, you know, in his armor, you know, remember, Gulaca's armor is the strongest Magitech thing out there. It's one of the strongest technology made by Verstale, the chief scientist of Niflheim. So when it comes to speed, it would have to be Gulaca. Gulaca would win because the Magitech thing will make him faster. Because what the Magitech suit, the General Gulaca suit does, it takes what you already have and enhances it tenfold, because you're using machinery, you're using powerful machinery made by demons. And Gulaca's armor is made by the highest ranking demons of Lucis. Remember, half of that, that's why, and all that, Gulaca has control of the diamond weapon as well, because if you notice, the diamond weapon fights in conjunction of General Gulaca. So Gulaca's armor is made by the same same material or leftover material as diamond weapon. So yeah, it's very powerful. It's very powerful. Maybe you don't even need no magic usage. But I'd have to say, to be fair, I'd have to say General Gulaca would win, because he has a lot more skills over Golbez. Golbez would still give him a run for his money, and Golbez could win if he used Onyx Dragon on Titus's body. If there was an opening for Golbez to use his Onyx Dragon Limit Break and obliterate Titus during the time Gulaca chooses to open a piece of his armor, then he'd be able to destroy Titus, which in conjunction will destroy Gulaca, you know, as well. And the Scourge really does not affect Gulaca. It will make Gulaca stronger, but Gulaca is nothing but armor. He's not really like the other Niflheim members. So, he could die. But Gulaca would win because he would be able to analyze Golbez's weaknesses and assess things. Not only that, but yeah, if you've seen General Gulaca in Kingsglaive, he's been through explosions, large amounts of fall damage, 2 stabbings, and still walks. I mean, Gulaca is a powerful piece of technology. Verstale should be proud of his creation. Like, this is the same kind of material that was used for Ravis's arm. That should tell you something. So I'd have to say General Gulaca would beat Golbez. And now, if you disagree or you agree, let me know in the comments. I'm going to leave that open now, since now I'm no longer on restriction. But may the crystal be with you. Oh, how do I stop?
Yo, Percocet, yeah. Miley Percocet, Percocet, Miley Percocet, rep the set, yeah. Gotta rep the set, gang, gang. Chase a chick, never chase a bitch, chase no bitch, man.